When the Needham Unite Against Racism Initiative, or NUARI, working group was formed last fall, one of its missions was to lay out a recommended vision for racial equity in Needham and guiding principles that will inform future actions. After months of discussion, the committee recently put forward a draft vision statement and guiding principles. On Monday, January 25th, they held a public hearing to listen to community feedback.
The vision statement commits Needham to be a community free of racism, racial bias, prejudice, and discrimination, and a place where residents, schools, businesses, organizations, and government will work together to identify barriers and create solutions leading to racial equity. The guiding principles for future actions include diversity in leadership roles, teaching a more full version of American history in schools, ensuring no particular race or person of color would have an unequal number of traffic stops and summons, establishing accountability in all processes for resident safety, and more. The attendees at the meeting generally expressed appreciation of the committee's work and positive feelings about the goals set in the statement, but many raised the question of how to measure the objectives.
Some of these measures have obvious data, right? How often different groups are pulled over, et cetera. But it also might be useful for the town to consider getting feedback on its proposals, like via a representative survey of residents, to just hear how people are thinking about what the big issues are and what solutions or efforts most appeal to them. And even follow-up surveys, which then would look at that first survey as a baseline to measure welcoming and inclusion, equity, and social cohesion.
One question might be whether NUARI wants to be the body that picks those metrics, or it wants to be the body that has the power to push the authorities who have access to that data to develop those metrics and report them back to NUARI. I think NUARI should have power to enforce some of these, but I don't know if NUARI needs to be the body that decides what those metrics are.
There should be some kind of, citizen review board of some sort to see how, decisions around arrests, around stops, around just overall, resources that are being dealt in different parts of Needham, interactions with children of color in our schools, with police, all of those metrics can be not only taken down, but also reviewed by citizens that are a nice cross-section like this group.
The attendees were also concerned about the sustainability of the initiative.
Who coordinates the implementation, who's monitoring and reporting on it, and who will have the power and funding to do that work.
Some residents wanted to see more concrete acknowledgement of the existence of racism in Needham.
This really lacks authenticity because there isn't an acknowledgement that racist behavior exists in Needham. We need to admit this. There needs to be, for reconciliation, there has to be needing.
NUARI is still seeking public comments on its vision statement and guiding principles. You can fill out an online form or email nuari@needhamma.gov. In the coming weeks, the committee will continue to review the status quo of diversity and racial equity in various areas, including policing, zoning and housing policies, and human resources. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.